Hello, everyone. I am Sarah Michel, and this is another weekly challenge to God. Uh, it's my weekly session. I challenge God to provide evidence He's real. Now, today, I usually do it a very open to every God and all gods that exist. Today, I am doing, of course, a little bit more specifically to Allah, as I am doing a drawing Muhammad. So let's see if by the end of this stream, Allah is gonna reveal Himself, and hopefully, let's see, or hopefully not, or hopefully to the Muslims, if He's gonna stop me from committing a horrible act of blasphemy that in many countries and according to many Muslim clerics and many Muslims Islamic laws is considered an act so unacceptable that is punishable by death. And of course, I don't live in a country that is ruled by Sharia law. YouTube headquarters is not located in a country that follows Sharia law, so there is absolutely no reason why I should not be allowed to do this. We do not follow blasphemy laws in these countries because we have freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and of course, freedom of conscience. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this, I'm not doing this specifically to provoke people who believe in Islam. It's not the goal of doing this. The goal of doing this is a demonstration that I believe that no one anywhere should be obligated to follow any sort of blasphemy laws. I am a very outspoken about freedom of speech. I think freedom of speech is one of the most, if not the most fundamental freedom that any society has in order to improve and learn and come up with better laws, with better models, with ways to improve itself and get better. And religion, especially Islam, is often used as a political tool to stop that, because it seems to me that is the rationale. It seems to me that the fear is that in the marketplace of ideas, where Islam has to compete freely with other ideas, Islam, maybe that's the thing. They know they're not gonna stand up to scrutiny. They know that if people are gonna look at Islam, gonna look at what it actually preaches, it's horrible. It's a barbaric religion founded by a man that, if he was alive today, looking at how he is described in the Hadith and the Quran. I think it's the Hadith that describes his life, if I'm not mistaken. The Quran is only the teachings that he received from a supposed angel. If you think about it, he was a man who, well, it's debatable whether he killed directly, but he certainly ordered the slaughter of hundreds of thousands of people, because an angel in his head, or better, a voice in his head claiming to be an angel told him to do it. Today, this would be considered as schizophrenic. There's no questions about it. And he's also married a 80-year-old, which is also illegal in, I think, every country today. So this is the founder of Islam. And it's unlike Jesus, that is debatable whether he was a historical figure. There is no debate whether Muhammad was a historical figure. So even though I don't hate Muslims at all, I don't. I have friends who are Muslims. And yeah, I know people are going to say whatever the fuck, I don't care. I do have friends who are Muslims, and I do respect people who have the belief in this religion. I still think it's an awful religion, don't get me wrong, but I do respect the people who believe it. I have nothing against them, and they were brought up in an environment where they usually didn't have a choice. And when you have blasphemy laws where you can be killed for being an apostate, then of course you really don't have a choice. You have to follow the law. You have to follow the religion. So, of course, I do not blame anyone who believes in Islam. And unfortunately, like it's the case with many bad ideologies, people simply were programmed to believe in those things, and I don't intend to be mean to them. However, the ideology still is bad. It's still an awful ideology, still is an awful religion, and I do criticize it vehemently. I do criticize the fact that girls are brought up to believe that they have to wear a veil covering their head, or they will be disobeying their God, and they will be sent to hell for it. And they don't really have a choice, because in most families, if the girl stops wearing the veil, she will be disowned by her parents. So this is not a choice. They are doing it because they are forced to do it. So, of course, this is not something that I will not speak up about, or something that I will just hand wave lightly. Just because, unfortunately, there is prejudice against Muslims, that I will not take this, that I will not criticize Islam. Islam needs to be criticized. And anyway, this is my critique to Islam. And commemorating Blasphemy Day, I wasn't able to do this video before. I will do a quick drawing of Muhammad. I can't draw for shit, so my drawing will be pathetic, because, well, you know, I'm not an artist on that department. I really am embarrassed of doing this, but I'm doing this for a reason, and the reason being, of course, the fact that I can do it. In this country, I can do it. I am allowed to do it. No one can stop me from doing. And if someone thinks they have the right to hurt me or punish me for it, they are in the wrong country. They have no place here. And I think in any country, this should be allowed to be punishable by any sort of violence. It's barbaric, it's absurd, and backwards. And this is definitely not something we should ever accept and tolerate as being acceptable or normal. So this is, let's see if you guys can see it. There you go. A shit drawing. Yeah, this is Muhammad with a sword, and this is his wife. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed it. I thank everyone in the chat. Let's see what we have here. Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne, why are you talking about Steve? Like, seriously, fuck off. And you can't see it. God damn it. Can you see now? I think you guys can see it now. There you go. Anyway, that was my drawing of Muhammad. This piece of shit. I can't draw for shit, but what it's worth is the intent. Also, before I go out, before I end the challenge, I just want to give a shout out to Faye. She's a Muslim apostate. She's from the UK. I did a stream with her. She gets a lot of shit from Muslims because she's a woman, a young woman, ex-Muslim. She's very outspoken about it. She talks about issues related to sexuality. So of course she gets a lot of hate. So I put a link to her channel in the description. You can go check her out. I thank you all for watching. And yeah, Allah didn't show up. I'm still here. I draw Muhammad, still alive, no sign of God. He failed the challenge again. I won again. I am Sarah Michel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers.